Rise and shine, beloved. Rise and shine. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, excuse me one moment. I left the other device. I got to go get it. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we are here. We are here. We are here. Oh, I apologize. I need to have this so I could track the comments and the live viewers on Facebook. Come on in, Great Grand Rising. Give me a Great Grand Rising. Let me know that you're here. I'm just going to pull this up and put a comment on Facebook. Yeah, we're here. Come on in, Great Okay, Grand there we go. We're here. We're on Facebook. So let me just throw a Great Grand Rising in the comments, and then we're ready to go. All right. Take this moment, tag a friend, tag a family member. Let them know Spiritual Success TV is live. Come on, give me a Great Grand Rising. Let me know that you're here. And we're going to begin. We're going to activate. This is so important. We don't want to skip this because you'll be able to receive more. Remember, more is caught than taught. Great Grand Rising, Reese. Thanks for joining us live. All right, let's activate. Come on, put your feet flat, back straight. You know the drill. Hand on heart. You can put a hand on your core. Take a good healing deep breath in through the nostrils and out through the mouth. Relax. Crown of the head, skin over your scalp, let it relax. Let your face, come on, relax. The tongue in your mouth, relax. Drop those shoulders down from your ears, your arms, your torso, your core, your thighs, your legs, your feet, flat feet, flat feet. Come on, and breathe. And exhale. Come on, turn the focus inward to the rich inner life, the kingdom within. Here is where you can tap in for all your resource, all your insight, all your wisdom. One more for the power of 3. Come on, breath in through the nostrils, out through the mouth. And we're here. Great, great, great. We're here. All right, beloved. So let's get ready to dive in deep all this month. Into next month, we're going to cover some great ground. I'm not running on full strength this morning, but I am here. You may hear some beeping in the background. I have an alarm that needs to be reset, and I can't figure out how to reset it. I'm going to have to call service. All right. So with that being said, last week we talked about the identity reset and the importance of really coming into your true identity, activating your wealth attractors, and settling in. Today, we are talking about reclaiming authority. Hey, Marcus, thanks for joining us live today. We're talking about reclaiming authority and activating energetic sovereignty. So I said last week, and it bears repeating, that coming into this universal, what we call a universal 1 year, according to the calendar, this is not about speed, right? This is not about speed, but it is about making sure that you are beginning properly. Write that down in your notes, beloved. This is not about speed. It's about a correct beginning. Many times when we come into what we call a new year, and we've already discussed all of this previously, so you know about this. But I want to say this for the purpose of those that will watch the replay, that this is their reality. Many times when we get here to a new year, so much of our focus and attention is outward. We start really looking outward. We get pulled into outward activity. We get pulled into outward shenanigans, pulled into outward plots and plans and guidelines. But beloved, this is a time, because we follow an energetic calendar, this is a time to reset, to relax, as we were coming out of the fall, winter of last year into now. Energetically, this is a time for rest and reset. And one of the things that I'm noticing that is such a challenge to many of us that are awakened and on a spiritual path, and we're on this awakened path, is that we keep getting pulled into the activity and the expectations of what's around us and what we think should be happening in our lives. Grand Rising Lisa, thanks for joining us live, right? And so this is an opportunity to reset all of that. So if you're following me carefully and if you're feeling what I'm saying, your spirit is catching it. We're not in a race. This is not about speed. It's not about comparison. It's not about you becoming, all things to everyone. Activating the chameleon syndrome that so many of us have activated over the years to fit in. You have a grand opportunity to reset in this universal 1 year. This year, you are laying the foundation for the next 9 years. I want you to get that, put that in your notes. I'm setting a foundation for my next 9-year cycle. So if we're here in 2026, by the time we get to 35, and that seemed like it's a long way off, but I guarantee you, we're blessed to tarry. You will get to 2035 and say, oh my goodness, this is crazy. How did we get here? I remember Dr. E talking about this in 2026. You're setting the foundation now in this universal 1 year for the next 9-year cycle. So it is worth it, beloved. It's worth it for you to disconnect from the matrix. It's worth it for you to take this time on our energetic calendar to rest and reset. I just really feel to decree this and declare this, that this is the year starting right now in this number 1 month, quote unquote, that you will disconnect from all the noise, all the 3D appearances that are contrary, that's not lining up, all the undue influence, all the pressure, rather it's from your family, from a spouse, from your co-workers, from your supervisors, wherever it may be coming from. I want you to know, beloved, you are safe. And it is safe for you to disconnect and reset and follow the drumbeat of your divine spirit that's calling you home. Right, Marcus? Yes. That's calling you to come in, come home. I'm telling you, beloved, all the treasure, everything that we are looking for is within. Didn't sacred text remind us you have treasure in these earthen vessels? So much treasure. You don't know how powerful this triune nature from our spirit, our soul, our bodies, everything is working to bring you into divine alignment with your true purpose. So I want you to follow me as we set this up, because this is a divine formula. If you understand that energetically you're in a time of hibernation, so to speak, even though you have to go out, you have to work, you have obligations. Okay, we understand that. I want you to be able to put things in the compartment they belong in. You have your 3D matriarchal functions. We know that. But that's not dominant. We want to move that out of the dominant position Y'all talk back to me now. We want to move that out of the dominant position and put our energetic and our spiritual guidance out front. We want that to be number one. So you have your 3D, right? Obligations. We know that. That's not the be end of end all, because many of you guys, and you know, we're stuck on the hamster wheel, so to speak. You wake up, you go to work, you do your job, you do what you're supposed to do. Every now and then you may be able to go out and eat, entertain, have some fun, go to church or whatever, and then it's right back. And we've been on this hamster wheel, and we're constantly looking around, to see what's the cue, what should I do? We have to come out of that, disconnect from that. I want you to know that you are safe. And it is okay for you to disconnect and not let that be the number one priority in your life. That's not premier. We want that to be secondary. What should be first is you coming home, tapping in, getting that divine guidance. So we talked about identity resetting. As we identity reset and we come back home looking at who we truly are. What are the gifts and the abilities that you negotiated and contracted with a divine covenant to come here with? And for most of us, we have ignored that all of our life. How do you know what are the wealth attractors, the divine gifting that you negotiated and contracted to bring here with you to help you do what you do? You started operating in that very early in life. Something caught your attention, right? Something caught your attention, something you had an innate desire for, that you were just fascinated by. And you will notice that you were fascinated by it very early on. In our SSL community, our brother from South Africa, he was saying that his family and his friends very early on will call him a finance minister, because he just had a way with money and numbers and finances. All of that is a clue to the giftings that you contracted. I want you to hear me, because this is important. These are the gifts that you contracted with before you hit this 3D realm. Before you came out in your mother's womb, there was a whole other part of you. Your spiritual you, your infinite you, the part of you that dwelled in eternity. I know we don't think about that. We're not taught about that, because again, we think that this 3D matrix is all there is. I saw this video, I heard someone say this, and I just thought it was so well said. Please forgive me, I don't remember who said it or why, but I caught it. See? It said that in the womb, these infants or embryos or infants were having a conversation. While they were in that gestational period, that womb environment was all they knew. That was life. That was everything. And they thought that beyond that, there was nothing. Like once they got born, and how we think, like once we die, that's it. This is all we know. So think about a child in the womb thinking that all there is the womb. That is the life. That is everything. And then when they come through that canal and they're birthed in this realm, there's a whole other life. Are you hearing me? Your spirit was alive long before you came here. So you negotiated with the heavenly council and says, I want to incarnate. I'm going in this time period. I'm going to be in this cultural environment. We chose it, beloved. We negotiated. Why? I'm taking these gifts with me. I'm taking these abilities with me. And we contracted to come here to fulfill a specific purpose. now, but once we come through the veil, what happens? We forget. But in you, that rich treasure that is in you, keep dropping these breadcrumbs along your journey, letting you know, hey, this is what you want. This is what you desire. This is what you came here for. But what happened is, because you cannot remember, it has been set up for us to be so distracted with what is here. Our parents played a part in it. Authority figures played a part in it. They all trained us to be anchored in this 3D physical realm. And as we travel and go along, we get these knocks on the door. Hey, I need you to come in. I need you to hear what I'm trying to show you. I want you to see what's right in front of you that belongs to you. Specifically, exclusively, it is yours. But what do? We ignore it, and we keep chasing what we think we should do. We chase what will make the most money. We chase what should be the ideal relationship. We chase what will look right and be presentable to society. All along, your wealth attractors keep knocking on the door, saying, hey, come home. So in this universal 1 year, we want to identity reset. We want to tap into the giftings and the talents and the abilities. Go back to your earliest memories in childhood. What did you love? What attracted your attention? What could you spend hours doing? I tell the story many times that when we were young, I could have been about maybe 7 or 8 years old, and we had a Christmas. And my sister, your mom, Reese, got a typewriter for Christmas. But my wealth attractor kicked in, my administrative gifting kicked in. I threw a natural born fit. I had a nuclear meltdown. I needed that typewriter. I could still see myself. I threw a fit. And they end up giving me that typewriter. Now, that's my story. Now, she has another story about it because it impacted her as well, right? And both versions are very valid. Why am I saying that? That was a part of my gifting at that young age, saying you have to pursue this because this is going to serve you well while you're here, right? So looking at the things that you could spend hours doing, things you love doing, is go back and start looking and ask your heart, ask your spirit, what am I meant to do with that now? So now when we talk about reclaiming authority, we have to look at where are we called to lead? Are you being asked to take the first step out front so that you can role model, you can be an example for others to look at? And there's many ways that we do that. I always believed when I was coming up in my early years of working in corporate America, working working for the government and different things, right? That I always believed in lifestyle evangelism. So I was never the person that you would see preaching to people, passing out tracts on the job, cornering people and asking them if they know Jesus. I was never that person, right? Even when I did evangelism ministry, I was doing what I was trained to do. But innately, that was not at the core of who I was. I believed in lifestyle evangelism. I believed that I carried myself a certain way, letting my gifting guide me, my giftings of kindness and understanding, right? And grace and giving, letting those guide me with my whole demeanor, where people would look at me and they would want something. They would sense something. Follow me. This is how you tapped into your real giftings. My gifting as a leader to be able to remain calm in crises was everything when people were looking. When there's a crisis, who's the calmest? Who have insight and wisdom when it comes to giving directions in a crisis, right? These are the things that we have. So Reese said, you guide in more complete change. Yes, 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 yes. Say more about that, Reese. Yes. So when you are using your true giftings, you can demonstrate authentically who you are. One of the things I would ask my students, even back when I was at New Life, I gave them a little exercise to do, very simple. When you look at, and at that time, I used the 9/11 tragedy in New York City, right? I said, if you were there, so this is years after it passed, if you were there and you were called to that site, to that scene, what would you want to do? I want you to, let's just go there and do that. So you're in this horrific crisis situation, and there are many things that need to be done. What would you want to do? You could only pick one, and I want y'all to talk back to me. What would you want to do as your contribution on that scene, in that environment? All of that lets you know what your true giftings are, what you're here to do, because something in you says, I want to be with the families. Something in you would say, I want to be on site and help the firefighters, right? Something in you would say, I want to be in search and rescue. All of that says what your true gifting is, right? So for me, right, at the time when I said to them what I did, I didn't want to do any of that. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be behind the scenes in the boardrooms. I wanted to be with the government officials. I wanted to be with Homeland Security, whoever it was. I wanted to be at the table helping assessing the threat, where the threat came from, and how to prevent further threats. See, I'm getting I could feel it. That's where I wanted to be. Watch this. I want to say this so that you will have faith in your own gifting. See, I'm not with the people. That's not my first desire. I'm behind the scenes. I'm not with no families. I'm behind the scenes. I want to make sure we are secure. I want to make sure that whatever happened, we are setting up a plan and a strategy where it cannot help. That's the first thing I want to do. Secondly, I want to assess what the damage is, what kind of help the people need, and I want to set up a protocol to get help right away. Third, I'm going to go visit families. I'm still not at the site. So I said all of this so that you will have faith in your own ability for what you can do. And don't be upset if people look at you and say, well, look at her. She's a minister. She's a preacher. She's not down there holding nobody's hands. She's not visiting the families. You got to go with your true gift. And y'all talk back to me. Y'all talk back to me. Let me see what Reese said. Yes. You don't just preach to people. You have the ability to teach lasting lifestyle adjustment methods, and something about you make people want, oh, Reese, thank you. That just brought tears to my eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's what happens. Thank you. I'm going to save that because that really blessed me. That's what your true gifting will do for other people, right? And you have to be so secure in your ability to do your gifting. So y'all talk back to me. If you're at 9/11, what would you want to do? How would you want to contribute? Your gifting, your real gifting, your wealth attractor will tap in and tell you what you want to do. All through your life, your true gifting and your true purpose was knocking on your door, telling you what your gifting is. So when we reclaim authority, we want to see in this season, where am I meant to lead rather than follow? As you've been following people and systems and matriarchal from this matrix demands, where are you meant to let that go? And so when you reclaim authority, you want to come back to I am that I am. Capital letters. Y'all talk back to me, put that in your notes. Come back to I am. And the sacredness of what I am really means. That's the creator God part of you. That's your God self. We want to start reclaiming that authority of I am. Knowing that I am is so sacred. When you say I am, you tap into your God self. When you say I am, whatever you say behind that, you're making a declaration. Yes, I am that I am. Yes, yes, yes. Lisa said, I was working the telephone bank helping the families. Oh, yes. See that? That just brought tears to my eyes. Y'all are tearing me up today. Yes, Lisa. Tapping in. She said at 9/11, I would have been at the phone bank helping the families. I don't want you to let no one make you ashamed of your true gifting, because listen, I used to say this. The creator God that created and designed you and the gifts that you negotiated that you would bring here. I'm saying it like that because I want you to understand you had a say in the things that you packed in your soul and brought here, so that you're not always putting everything outside of yourself, giving everything over. You have the giftings that you have because you chose them in eternity. And you brought them here with you to help you do your job. So when you do an identity reset and you reclaim authority in this season, I want you to be so confident in your giftings. That's what's going to get you paid. I used to say to my congregation back at New Life, this is just amazing how the creator gives you the gift, right? That you negotiated to come here with. You have the gift. Then room is made for you to use the gift. Then the gift is a blessing and impact other people and change their lives. And then you also get paid for using the gift. Come on, that is a win-win. But what we have done is that we were so involved with following the matrix and doing what people really wanted us to do in the 3D matrix, that we ignored our own gifting. I was actually really working with the family because I work at FDNY. Yay! See that? And look at that. Even your positioning at FDNY, all of that is a part of your gifting coming alive, your gifting working. Yes? And FDNY, they are forever held as heroes. They did a phenomenal job at that time. So what I'm saying in a nutshell, and I really want you to catch this, reset, beloved. Do an identity reset. Start having confidence in who you are and this inner guidance that keeps knocking on your door saying, pay attention. Pay attention. This is who you are. This is your gifting, right? Even the career that you've chosen, all of that's a part of your gifting. I worked in executive administration, right? That's one of my secondary gifts. That's why I had that meltdown about that typewriter. My secondary gifting was in administration. And watch this. These are little things that tell you something. So I had that meltdown about that typewriter, and I just got on it and started doing like this. I believe that was a part of me from another life, right? And as I started working, that administrative gifting kicked in, and people were amazed at the speed that I was able to type. The last speed test I took back in the 1980s, probably, right? The early 80s, mid 80s. The last test I took, they clocked me at 110 words a minute. That's before the keyboard and the computers. We were on those electric typewriters. I'm dating myself. The IBM Selectric, that was one of my favorite. Typing 110 words a minute. People were amazed. They were fascinated because back then, if you did 65 words a minute, that was considered exceptional. If you did 30 to 35, you just made it. You just made it. You were just able to get in and do the job. That was a part of my second primary gifting, right? My first gifting is that of the person in the black robe, right? Yes. While IBM. Do you remember that, Marcus? That was my favorite. I'm dating myself. Yes. I was at 73. All right, Marcus, see that? That administrative part is serving you well no matter what you do. And when you start coming into your purpose, we want to start tapping into our primary gifting. So notice how, I said my primary gifting was to be that person in the black robe. Rather, it was a judge, right? A preacher in clergy, or a university professor, right? So any one of those three. And I feel like I've operated at the level of all three, even if I had to do my own university type level, right? But these are your primary gifting as a teacher, as a transmitter, as a transformation catalyst, just trying to bring some definition. You have to sit in who you are. It's so imperative, beloved. Go back. Come on, go back in and start looking at your gift and notice, what were you interested in before you got hijacked by something else? As a child, I know many of us may not have had ideal childhoods. You may have been in survival mode as a child. You may have had trauma as a child where you don't remember most of your childhood. But the infinite part of you, your God self, is always alive, guiding you through that trauma, guiding you through that drama. And it keeps guiding you. One more thing I want to say about this, and we're going to pick up again next week on authority and energetic sovereignty, because I didn't get to that today. But one more thing I want to say this, and I've shared this many times, but I'm saying it again so that hopefully you can identify and see how this has worked in your life. Every major junction, every upgrade, every elevation that has taken place in my life, it wasn't because of something external. It was because of something internal. You'll have a desire at different times. It'll say, pursue this, go this way. Everything that have benefited me in my life, everything that has prospered me in my life, it came from inner guidance that I was able to follow. And many times you don't know completely what it is. The first thing I noticed back in New York, let's say in the 80s, when me and Bishop C.W. got together, right? And we started in ministry, the first thing I had just a little sense of, the ministry was not in New York. I just had a sense or a feeling it was going to be somewhere, I'm thinking south, right? I've told the story many times. But that was the first little inkling. I thought it was south. So when it was time to relocate from New York, my first destination was Florida. I was going to my sister, Sandra, God bless her soul, rest in peace. I still miss her, right? I was going to Florida. I was going to stay with her. I had already put everything in place, even did an address change at the post office, and that address still shows up on my credit reports when you do a deep search, right? I was set there. And I love this. I told y'all this before. And so we packed up, leaving New York, on our way to Florida. But that was not the destination. My brand new, I think it was a 1984 Cutlass Sierra. That was the first time I bought a car brand new off the showroom floor. I didn't have that car but maybe 5 months, maybe. And the engine breaks down, right? It had broke down in New York. I had it rebuilt, getting on the road. The engine breaks down again in Virginia. 20 minutes from where my brother lived. See how the angels were with me? They were guiding me. He gets on the highway, come and get us. We go to him, right? Long story short, I'm going to speed it up. We stayed in Richmond, Virginia, 18 months. It was hard getting settled in Virginia. I wasn't able to secure a place for myself. For like 5 months, I stayed with my brother. But everything is working. Make contacts there, continue ministry there, right? Everything going. But I had to stay there, and I was anchored there until the next part came into place. It took 18 months. And then here comes Bishop Fred Sanders, which is my uncle, my husband's uncle, right? Here he comes to Richmond, Virginia, Church of Our Lord of the Church of Our Lord, Cool JC, Church of Our Lord, JC, Jesus Christ, Church, Apostolic, whatever it was. They had their big convention in Richmond, Virginia that year. So here come Apostle Fred Sanders. He was Bishop Sanders at the time. Here he comes to Richmond, Virginia. I hosted them. We talked about that last week, right? Hosted them, cooked food for them, a whole bunch of all the main preachers. All of them came. Bishop Dawson, Bishop Genovese. They weren't bishops then, they were elders, right? I hosted them, all of that. That was the next junction. There was a connection that was there from eternity between myself and Bishop Fred Sanders. We were such good friends, such good buddies. That is how Carl came in the picture. You see how everything connects, right? Landed me here, and then I moved to Ohio. He said, just come and visit. June 1990, I came and stayed for a week, and everything in me knew I was supposed to come to Ohio. And then y'all know the rest of the story. I said all of that to say, you have to follow that inner guidance. We keep running and chasing that elusive carrot. There is no place called there, not really. That's a myth. Because we're always growing, we're always evolving, and you have to just keep following. So when you do your identity reset, tap into those giftings. Come on, y'all, talk to me. What do you love doing? As far as I can remember, administration was a secondary gift. Teaching is my primary gift. Helping people learn and see things, how they transform. I was doing that as a child. I noticed when I started having children, I would be teaching them, singing things to them to help them remember. That's the teacher. Nobody has to teach you how to do your gift. Nobody has to teach you how to be you. But we keep chasing stuff. Chasing what's going to make us rich, what's going to give us recognition, what's going to give us clout. I'm going to run to this certification, that certification. I'm going to put that at some point, especially highly sensitives. You've got to stop chasing certifications. And I'm here to tell you, you have everything you need. That can be a trap and a distraction to keep you from taking action with your authentic gifting, because you have that imposter syndrome. You keep thinking you're not enough. You don't know enough. You don't have enough. Stop it and just start. Let whatever you start with be good enough for now. Not another certification, not another this, not another that. Lock in, get some help, get some support, and take step by step and follow your inner guidance. Come on, let's take a healing deep breath in and exhale. We're using the number 12. We're sowing seed. The number 1 and the number 12 could be $21, $12. Come on, $126. Let's sow. Now we want to take a seed and we want to sow, because everything you give is not a seed. We want to take a seed and sow it, plant it and water it so you can get the results of what you're seeding for. Right? Okay, beloved, you know all the ways that we can give. I will put that up. And it's just such a thing that, this is how people start hijacking your page and making false accounts. And if y'all see those false accounts out there, please report it, and because that's what they do. This is all the ways that you can give, right? All right, lovelies, I'm going to release you with many blessings for the rest of your day and your week. We are here. We are back on schedule. Those of you that have private sessions, we will be connecting this week. We will get SSL back on track in a moment, but I'm just putting that on pause for now. All right. Have a blessed, wonderful, and amazing rest of your day. Bye for now, guys.